Welcome to the Maine Irish Heritage Center and the special program that we have for all of you who are not able to make it to the Irish Hootenanny last night at the center itself. Wow, what a night, even though Frankie Valli was not on the program. I still have my green drinking band on my wrist here from last night. Of course, there may be a number of you who were there last night too and enjoyed it so much that a second helping is in order. Or perhaps you may be worried that you were caught on film in a compromising position, running in front of one of the bands after a wee bit too much sampling of the Irish ales and stouts being quaffed about the building for a good number of hours. So, let me tell you who you will be seeing in the show. First, you will hear a message to us from the new Irish ambassador to the USA, Geraldine Byrne Nason. We can only hope that she spends as much time with us as the last Irish ambassador, Daniel Mulhall, did. He came to the MHIC so many occasions, and we loved him. In any case, Mary McElhaney will ensure that Ms. Nason gets more than a few invites to leave DC for a more beautiful and more Irish location, namely here.
My name is Geraldine Byrne Nason. I'm Ireland's newly appointed ambassador to the United States, and I want to say a big congratulations to Maine Irish Heritage Centre on your third annual Best of All Things Irish in Maine. I know that this year's event holds a special importance as it's the first time you're now gathering together again in person to enjoy an evening of talented acts. I'm so grateful for the very special and deep links between Maine and my country, Ireland. As you well know, Ireland has been shaped by our unique and treasured relationship with our diaspora. Nowhere are these bonds stronger than in the United States, and nowhere in the United States are they stronger than in this precious corner of New England. Our bonds are very special ones. They are of family, friendship, and shared history. These in turn have led to vibrant business connections, political ties, and cultural links. We treasure these bonds. For many years now, the Maine Irish Heritage Centre has served as a cornerstone of the Irish community. I know that the centre offers an indispensable array of resources at the very heart of Maine. I want to warmly applaud the great strides taken to protect, preserve, and indeed restore the National Historic Landmark that was formerly St. Dominic's Church, the centre of an early Irish community in Maine. I'm also touched to learn that throughout the unprecedented challenges posed by the pandemic, the team at the MIHC adapted and offered creative programming. Initiatives like the Best of All Things Irish in Maine helped to ensure that the community could still come together and that Irish culture could be celebrated. Thank you to everyone, Garamila Mahagavilig, all of you who worked so tirelessly to ensure that we could all remain connected and, importantly, remain supported during those challenging times.
Hi there, I'm Kate Snyder, Mayor of the City of Portland, and I'm so happy to be celebrating the Maine Irish Heritage Center, which is really a gem in the City of Portland. The Maine Irish Heritage Center is creating a sense of place and a sense of belonging in the city, and we are very invested as a city in preserving this building and working with the community. That's really what's happening here, is we're building a sense of community. So I want to thank you so much for having me here, and congratulations to the Maine Irish Heritage Center.
The show, trust me, will amaze you. People will be speaking, singing, reciting, and presenting to celebrate the greatness of our culture and convince you that our center is worthy of your financial support. The real point here is to show you how lucky we all are to be Irish and have this wonderful place, this sacred building, the Maine Irish Heritage Center, as the centerpiece of our pride and joy. And as you know, without your financial help, we would not be able to keep it afloat. We hope that as this program proceeds, that you will use the information on the banners, which have been put in below, to donate to our cause. For this, we thank you. Having already seen the talent, I assure you it was and will be for you a grand show. All of us here at the Center hope that you enjoy it and that you will consider contributing to our noble cause, which is the perpetuation of Irish culture and all things Irish here in Maine.
We are just moments away from going live on radio. Can you give a round of applause to our development director, Anella Linton? Let her know, huh?
Big up for the north. I know a lot of people here are probably from Southern Ireland, so big up for the north of Ireland. From a little place called Porrush, if you know it. But I think we're going to be live on WMPG any minute now. And we have James here. Hi, James.
Everybody thought I was just wandering up and getting in trouble as usual.
So we're live from the Maine Irish Heritage Centre. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about what this event is about?
So this is our third year doing the best of all things Irish in Maine, and the first year doing it live in person, and the first year also having the Beer Fest. So on behalf of the Maine Irish Heritage Centre, I just want to thank everybody for coming, and I'm hoping you all come back next year because I want this to be an annual event. So if everybody could raise their glass. Sláinte! Cheers to the Maine Irish Heritage Centre, folks. Thank you all for coming. It's going to be a great night.
Okay, next up we're going to play a set of tunes on the Irish slow whistle, starting out with a set of compositions of mine, Acadia into the Sandy Shoe, which is a tune my dad, when he got back from a trip to the Aran Islands, he was playing in a session and he realized he still had sand in his shoes from Inisheer. And after that, we'll be playing Margus Moment by Brian Finnegan. Yeah.
Hey everybody, we're about to get going. We thank our friend Dan for mastering the sound tonight, and also the Maine Irish Heritage Center for having us. We are the Keenans from the County York. We're from Saco, Maine. Thank you. You're welcome to sing along, clap along, stomp your feet. Well, I've been a wild rover for many a year, and I spent all me money on whiskey and beer. But I'll save up my wages, keep money in store, and I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. I went into a pub that I used to frequent, and I told the bartender me money was spent. I asked him to trust me, he answered me nay. Such a custom as yours we can have any day, and it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. If I had all the money I left in your care, it would fill up my mouth and my family rear. It fixed all my fences, it built me a farm. It would buy me a coat for to keep my back warm, and it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. Then out of my pockets I pulled sovereigns bright, and the bartender's eyes opened wide with delight. Said I've whiskey and wines and beers of the best, and the words that I said sure were only in jest. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. I'll go home to my parents, I'll tell what I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon their prodigal son. And if they'll forgive me as they've often before, then I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. All together now. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you.
Sorry about muting me.
Is that good? There we go. Back on. All right. So this next set, we have one more set for you. Chris Gray and I also did an album together. It's on the table back there if you're interested. And he also painted the cover. He's a very good painter. So check it out. So this next set is Michael Kramer's Dunmore Lasses into Ramney Cayley. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Seamus Burke, enterologist. In the early part of the 20th century, Houdini and other escapologists made their living by getting out of boxes, bags, and bonds. Seamus Burke earned his living by getting into them. He was the world's first enterologist. In 1935, in Manchester, England, when the Catholic Herald received a strange letter from Burke, he stated that he could perform 3 amazing feats. 1, he could get into a trunk which had been locked, tied with rope, and sealed with wax. 2, he could enter into a paper bag which had been handed to him after he had been tied with several feet of rope. And 3, he could sit tied to a chair with a bag draped over his shoulder, and moments later he would be found still tied to the chair inside the bag. Now, the Herald editor sent a reporter to investigate. The gullible reporter came away not only convinced that Burke could do everything he promised, but that there were definite signs of psychic ability. In no time at all, Seamus Burke was a headliner at the New Manchester Hippodrome. In his memoir, From the Earth to a Star, Burke told the origin of his strange ability. He had recently been fired from his job as an elevator operator, and although he had been illiterate until the age of 20, he made a living by writing short stories for small English magazines. Now, the hero of these stories was a little fellow called Kilboggan, who was always planning crimes, but each time he was on the brink of success, he would fail in some mysterious way. In the latest story, Burke had Kilboggan making off from a bank vault with a bag of cash, only to find that he had mistakenly stolen a bag of canceled checks. Now, in order to get Kilboggan, Burke got the idea of having him hide inside a large trunk. An accomplice would pass it off as a chest of rare books and leave it in the vault. Kilboggan would wait till the bank closed, open the chest, grab the money, and go back inside. Now, the issue was how to have the chest locked from the outside when the vault opened the following morning. That night, Burke had a dream vision which showed him how to do it. He tried it out the next day. He borrowed a crate from his landlady and took it up to his room. Then he sat in a chair with his hands tied and the crate beside him. He concentrated with all his might, and suddenly he found himself inside the crate with his hands still tied. Later, Burke said, "Being a man of mystery, I handed the reporters a fantastic story. Had I told the same story to a pack of mules, they'd have kicked me to death." Seamus Burke was born into a poor family of 7 children in Kilkenny, Ireland, on March 4th, 1888. When he was 9, his mother died of malnutrition. A few weeks later, his alcoholic father left home for good. Seamus struck out on his own, living as a hobo, doing odd jobs, picking turnips and the like. But he grew cold and hungry, and when he came upon a recruitment poster, he lied about his age and enlisted in the British Army. But Burke hated army life so much that he deserted and went to London. Within the year, again desperate for food and shelter, he enlisted again. He was court-martialed for desertion and sentenced to 168 days in prison. When he got out, he was shipped off to India, and there his luck began to change. Burke enjoyed India. It was there he learned how to read and to play the clarinet. He even put on musical and comedy performances for his fellow soldiers. Now, after the Great War was over, Burke got the job as an elevator operator and began writing novelty songs for music hall acts. Songs like Remember. Remember, my darling, you've no mother now. Forget her, dear Mary Ann. She went for some beer 63 years ago and eloped with the money and can. When I think of her face all battered and worn, my tears fall like rain on the floor. And at night when I'm laying asleep, I am praying, God send her back to me no more, no more, no more. God send her back to me no more. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in 1920, Seamus Burke joined the IRA. And after the Civil War ended, he built a shack in the Dublin Mountains and lived as a hermit. But his life as a hermit came to a sudden end when a big storm destroyed his shack and he almost died of pneumonia. For a time, he lived on the streets of Dublin before returning to London to pursue his writing career. It was during this period that he came across a book called About Magicians, which inspired him to create the unique art of enterology. Burke was a very unlikely performer. He appeared on stage at the top of a small staircase, flanked on either side by liveried assistants. A sad-faced, gaunt little man wearing a ridiculous floor-length green cape, he labored through his 3 stunts while his manager kept up a constant stream of patter and the band played the Snake Charmer Waltz. And yet, the Liverpool Gazette hailed him as the mystic wonder of the age, and the Birkenhead Advertiser pronounced him a most uncanny phenomenon. But the act was not without hazards. One night, Burke was accosted by a group of drunken sailors as he was performing his chair and bag finale. One of the sailors insisted on tying Burke with his own 20-foot length of tar rope. Burke was able to complete the stunt, but he was left severely cut and bruised. 2 years after Burke's remarkable debut, he retired from the stage forever. He became assistant secretary to Gracie Fields, the famous British music hall star. After 10 years in her employ, he left the stage forever, and he returned to his beloved Ireland to write his memoirs. After that, Seamus Burke disappeared from all public records. His enigmatic life and eccentric career might best be summed up by a reporter for the Manchester Guardian, who wrote, "If Mr. Burke were to disappear off the face of the earth, one would simply shrug one's shoulders and say, well, that's that." Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
I am a little beggar man, a begging I have been, I for 60 more on this little Isle of Green. I'm known from the Liffey down to Seguin, and I'm known by the name of Old Johnny Doo. Of all the trades that go in Ayrshire, begging is the best. But when a man is tired, he can sit down and rest. He can beg for his supper, he has nothing else to do, only cut around the corner with his old rigadoo. I slept in a barn way down a Currabon. A wet can't come on, so I slept till the dawn, with the holes in the roof and the rain a-coming through, and the cats and the rats, they were playing peekaboo. Who should awaken but the woman of the house, with a white spotty apron and a calico blouse? She began to frighten, and I said, boo! Ara, don't be afraid, Mum, it's only Johnny Doo. I met a little flaxy-haired girl one day. Come on, a little flaxy-haired girl, I did say. Come on, a little beggar man, and how do you do, with your rags and your tags and your old rigadoo? I'll buy a pair of leggings and a collar and a tie, and a nice young lady I'll fetch by and by. I'll buy a pair of goggles and color them blue, and an old-fashioned lady I'll make of her too. Rotin' dotin' diddly outin' rotin' dotin' down, a rotin' dotin' diddly itin' deetin' ditin' do, dither dum dotin' rotin' dum a rotin' deetin' da, feather do a dither rotin' dotin' fiddly itin' da. Over the road with me pack on me back, over the fields with me great heavy sack, with the holes in me shoes and me toes a peeking through, singing skidamarinka-doodle-o and old Johnny Doo. It's time to go to bed, for it's getting late at night. The fire's all raked and out goes the light. Now you've heard the story of me old rigadoo. It's goodbye, God be with you from old Johnny Doo. A rotin' dotin' diddly outin' rotin' dotin' down, a rotin' dotin' diddly itin' deetin' ditin' do, dither dum dotin' rotin' dum a rotin' deetin' da, feather do a dither rotin' dotin' fiddly itin' da. Rotin' dotin' diddly outin' rotin' dotin' down, a rotin' dotin' diddly itin' deetin' ditin' do, dither dum dotin' rotin' dum a rotin' deetin' da, feather do a dither rotin' dotin' fiddly itin' da.
There's a traditional Irish greeting that means 100,000 welcomes. I won't press my luck with the ancient language, so let me instead offer 100,000 thank yous to the Maine Irish Heritage Center. As the beneficiaries of a great culture, we are called upon to honor and build upon the accomplishments and contributions of our ancestors. This celebration of the best of all things Irish in Maine stands on the three pillars of music, food, and beer. We must never forget, however, that the most precious Irish export to our shores are the courageous, hardworking, and good people who left their homeland behind to help build a new nation. The struggles of Irish immigrants so long ago are confronting some of our new Mainers from all corners of the world. There is no better way we can honor our past than to reach out to the refugees of today. They too offer courage, hard work, and goodness to our great state. The Maine Irish Heritage Center is more than just a beautiful and historic building. It is the steward of the story of the Irish in Maine. It is the inspiring story of a place where all are welcome and where all work together to build something great and lasting. They say that if you're lucky enough to be Irish, then you're lucky enough. We Irish Mainers are the luckiest of all. Our state will forever bear the inspiring stamp of our ancestral home. Erin and Maine, go bragh.
For all of those who saw last night's festivities, we do have a fantastic show for you. Everything we will share here with you over the course of the next hour or so will exude local Irish talent, spirit, and beauty. The only thing missing for you here with us via video today is the sweet taste of Irish courage which flowed so freely last night. I cannot miss a chance to thank our participating brewers here. All grand products and well appreciated by the big crowd. Here in the bright light of day, though, we are literally in our sanctuary here at the Maine Irish Heritage Center. The Maine Irish Heritage Center is, as you know, the site of the original St. Dominic's Church, first finished in 1833 and then rebuilt in 1897. The heart and center of Irish history in Maine. Now, in addition to all of the baptisms, first communions, confirmations, weddings, funerals, and collateral award ceremonies it has hosted, it can now boast a Brewers Festival featuring Irish stouts and ales. Father O'Toole and Sister Martha are not rolling over in their graves, they are doing somersaults.
And I'm going to do a few songs, they're original songs. And the first one I'm going to lead off with is about this place. It's called Song for St. Dom's. I wrote the song when it was actually still a church. And I wrote the song in hopes of maybe keeping it an active church. Came a time when I knew, it was inevitable. And so I went into a studio and I made a small CD, a short CD of 5 different Irish songs. I'm going to sing a couple of them for you today about the Irish experience here in Portland. And this one for St. Dom's. There we go. I got connectivity, Dan. This one for St. Dom's. I wanted to make a special dedication on this song. There was a guy who, hey, put this up a little bit. There's a guy who did an awful lot to save this building. He passed away a few years back. And I want to do a special dedication to him for this song. It's called Song for St. Dom's, and the man I want to dedicate it to is David Soul, the late David Soul. You were the first, for a time you were the only, the light that lit the flame of hope and faith. In a house down on Cross Street, Irish immigrants did meet to praise their God and hope for better days. But the coming years would bring so much sorrow, brought refugees from a starving, famined land. But you were a guiding light, like a beacon in the night, and you held them in your gentle, caring hands. Oh, St. Dom's, your spire's standing lonely in the sky. Oh, St. Dom's, your children kneel and they pray for answers why. You've held them with a mother's sacred love. And I know there must be hope for you, St. Dom's. Through all these many years, through endless wars and countless tears, you've been the rock your children leaned upon. But that was yesterday, and now they've moved away, and some say it's time you must be gone. But I think we need you more than ever, but there's a darkness upon our land once more. Let a million prayers arise from your altar to the sky, that will save you like you saved us before. Oh, St. Dom's, your spire's standing lonely in the sky. Oh, St. Dom's, your children kneel and they pray for answers why. You've held them with a mother's sacred love. And this is a song of hope for you, St. Dom's. Thank you so much. All right, the next one I'm going to do is, I believe, a true story, as told to me by a lovely old woman named Ellen Murray DeVoe. And her cousins were the Flahertys that owned the Flaherty Funeral Home on Daring Street. And she told me that during Prohibition, they were actually bootleggers. And what they would do is they would purchase coffins and caskets from Boston, and inside those caskets from Boston would be illegal booze. And people would go down to a wake, and they'd go in and they'd go off to the kitchen, or they'd go down to the smoking room, whatever, and they'd consume the illegal hooch. And I thought, my God, that needs a song. You gotta write a song about that one, Joe. So what I did was, my wife's family were Flahertys, so to protect the guilty, I changed the name to the more generic Flanagan's Funeral Hall. So here you go. I'm going to bring you back to the dark, dark days. It's Prohibition, 1920s, in Portland, Maine. And the government says you can't imbibe, for drinking is a sin. But I know a spot that you might try where the good times never end. Now you might ask, where is this place where a fun time's had by all? I'll tell you, folks, and it's no joke, it's Flanagan's Funeral Hall. Oh, yes, indeed, there's a guarantee of a good time there for all. They're dying to get in, but they're living it up at Flanagan's Funeral Hall. There's Mary Conley from Tate Street, she weighed just 90 pounds. They went to lift her coffin up, couldn't get it off the ground. Her brother Ned, pray be God she's dead, how could she put on weight? Oh, Flanagan said, look here, old Ned, 50 gallons just last night. Oh, yes, indeed, there's a guarantee of a good time there for all. They're dying to get in, but they're living it up at Flanagan's Funeral Hall. There's Mrs. Murphy's husband, Joe, he died just yesterday. They took him down to the funeral home to send him on his way. Now see her there with a long black veil, Widow Murphy, how she cries. My darling Joe, sad to see you go, but I'm crying because I'm dry. Oh yes, indeed, there's a guarantee of a good time there for all. They're dying to get in, but they're drinking it up at Flanagan's Funeral Hall. So if you're feeling kind of down, you need a pick-me-up, just go on down to the funeral home and get yourself a cup. Now you don't even have to know the soul that's lying there. Just raise your glass to the latter last and offer up a prayer. Oh yes, indeed, there's a guarantee of a good time there for all. They're dying to get in, but they're living it up at Flanagan's Funeral Hall. Oh yes, indeed, there's a guarantee of a good time there for all. They're dying to get in, but they're living it up at Flanagan's Funeral Hall. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. And my last one I'm going to play for you is a song that's very dear, personal to me. At the time my youngest child, my daughter Megan, was born, I had been reading a book of Irish myths, beliefs, legends, etc., kind of a potpourri. And I read this one that said, when a baby is smiling in their sleep, it means they're talking with the angels. And I thought, my God, what a beautiful, beautiful thing to believe. And so one night, I happened to be checking in on Meg, and I looked in on her crib, and she was sound asleep with this big smile on her face. And voila, I swear to God, this song kind of wrote itself. Of course, I had 3 kids, so what the hell kind of father would I be if I excluded the other 2? So I'm calling this one Angel's Lullaby, and it's for my kids. Are you talking with the angels, little Patrick? For on your sleeping face I see a smile. Sure, I know he must have sent you straight from heaven, and he blessed us, little boy, you're our child. 'Tis an old Irish legend passed down for us to keep. When the night is filled with wonder and the baby sound asleep, so then his messengers come calling. When the stars are shining bright, they whisper only to the innocent, shining down a purer light. Are you talking with the angels, little Sean? Is that a silly grin your daddy sees? Sure, I know he must have sent you straight, and he blessed me when he straight you sent me. Now these times are so confused. Here you are, my baby girl. There you're lying, sound asleep. And I think I see a smile on your little face, so dear. I think of that old Irish legend and its meaning's getting clear. Are you talking with the angels, little Megan? For on your pretty face I see a smile. Would you pass on this message from your mother and me? Please thank him for the gift of you, our child. Are you talking with the angels, little Megan? On your pretty face I see a smile. Would you pass on this message from your mommy and me? Please thank him for the gift. You are her child. Thank you, everybody. You've been an absolutely great audience. I had a great time. Thank you so much for supporting the Maine Irish Heritage Center.
We've got genealogy going on.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that genealogy, the ancestry that you can get done here.
Oh God, that's a huge responsibility. We have a world-class genealogy team, and they have gone over and presented at events in Ireland and all around the place. So I'd really, I'm not sure if I'm qualified to speak on everything that they do, but they meet here, they provide consultation, they do a lot of the DNA genealogy through like Ancestry.com, Family Tree DNA and things like that. So
James, do you want to just tell us a little bit about your performing tonight? So what are you going to be performing?
I'll be giving it a go later on around 7 o'clock. I'm going to do 3 classic Irish songs. We're doing Grace by the Wolf Tones, Streets in New York also by the Wolf Tones, and The Hills of Donegal by Goats Don't Shave. I'm just hoping that I had the right amount of sampling and not too much, that I forget the words. It's always fun trying to find that sweet spot. I was told to keep talking until the music starts. Thank Christ for that. As we gather in the chapel here in old Kilmainham jail, I think about these last few weeks. Oh, will they say we failed? From our school days they have told us we must yearn for liberty. Yet all I want in this dark place is to have you here with me. If you know the words, sing along. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They take me out at dawn and I will die. With all my love, I place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. I know it's hard for you, my love, to ever understand the love I have for these brave men, my love of this dear land. But when Padre called me to his side down in the GPO, I had to leave my own sick bed. To him I had to go. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They take me out at dawn and I will die. With all my love, I place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Now as the dawn is breaking, my heart is breaking too. On this May morn as I walk out, my thoughts will be with you. And I write some words upon the wall so everyone will know I loved so much that I could see his blood upon the rose. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They take me out at dawn and I will die. With all my love, I place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. No, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Thanks very much. That song's about Joseph Mary Plunkett, who married his fiancée, Grace Gifford, about 15 minutes before he was executed after his participation in 1916 Easter Rising. So, a song that means an awful lot to me. I appreciate the fact that you enjoyed it. I always have to try to make it through this song without crying. There's a few lines that just get me every time. I was 18 years old when I went down to Dublin with a fistful of money and a cartload of dreams. Take your time, said me father, stop rushing like hell, and remember all's not what it seems to be. For those fellas would cut you for the coat on your back, or the watch that you got from your mother. So take care, me young bucko, and mind yourself well, and will you give this wee note to me brother? At the time, Uncle Benji was a policeman in Brooklyn. Me father, the youngest, looked after the farm. When a phone call from America said send the lad over, and the young fella said sure wouldn't do any harm. For I've spent my life working this dirty old grunt for a few pints of porter and the smell of a pond. And sure maybe there's something you'll learn or you'll see, and you can send it back home, make it easier on me. So I landed at Kennedy, and a big yellow taxi carried me and me bags through the streets and the rain. Well, me poor heart was thumping around with excitement. I hardly even heard what the driver was saying. We came in the Shore Parkway to the flatlands in Brooklyn, to my uncle's apartment on East 53rd. I was feeling so happy, I was humming a song, and I sang "You're as free as a bird." Well, to shorten this story, what I found out that day was Benji was shot down in an uptown parade. And while I was flying my way to New York, poor Benji was lying in a cold city morgue. Well, I called up the old fella, told him the news. I could tell he could hardly stand up in his shoes. And he wept as he told me, go ahead with the plan, and not to forget, be a proud Irishman. Well, I went up to Nellie's beside Fordham Road, and I started to learn about lifting a load. But the heaviest thing that I carried that year were the bittersweet thoughts of my hometown so dear. I went home that December 'cause the old fella died. Had to borrow the money from a fella on the side, and all the bright flowers and brass couldn't hide the poor wasted face of me father. I sold up the old farmyard for what it was worth, and into my bag put a handful of earth. And I boarded a train, and I caught me a plane, and I found myself back in the US again. It's been 22 years since I've set foot in Dublin. The kids know to use the correct knife and fork, but I'll never forget green grass or the rivers as I worked child protective in Maine's County York. Plug for myself. Na 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 Thanks very much. These are wild kind. I'd just like to point out that the next song was written in 1991. So if there's any lines in this song that, you know, cause any kind of reaction, just remember it was 1991. And that I did not write the song. It's not the too racy, you might know when you hear it, but... You may talk about Atlantis, how it's lost beneath the sea, or the grave of the unknown soldier, or the cry of the old banshee. Who was the man in the iron mask? Was Jack the Ripper set free? But ask them all, where's Donegal? It's still a mystery. Oh, if I could, I'd build a wall around old Donegal, the north and south to keep them out. By God, I'd build it tall. Casinos, chicken ranches, I'd legalize them all. We'd have our own Las Vegas in the hills of Donegal. Yeah, Las Vegas in the hills of Donegal. Coming up. Playboy clubs, all-night pubs, blackjack and roulette. Bill Bailey, Bridget Nielsen, Mike Tyson's having a bet. And is shown to then be known for its multi-millionaires. And Donald Trump would like a chunk to live in solitaire. Oh, if I could, I'd build a wall around old Donegal, the north and south to keep them out. By God, I'd build it tall. Casinos, chicken ranches, I'd legalize them all. We'd have our own Las Vegas in the hills of Donegal. Yeah, Las Vegas in the hills of Donegal. To stand on top of Errigal would give me such a thrill. I'd hear them say in Dublin, there's gold in them there hills. But don't despair, 'cause if you dare, the answer lies with me. There's a wall that's deep and it's going cheap somewhere in Germany. Oh, if I could, I'd build a wall around old Donegal. The north and south to keep the mud, by God, I'd build it tall. Casinos, chicken ranches, sure I'd legalize them all. And we'd have our own Las Vegas in the hills of Donegal. Woo! Vegas in the hills of Donegal. Thanks very much. Anybody find a wee 10-ounce glass lying around? It says Maine Irish Heritage Centre on it. I set it down there about 5 minutes ago. Thanks very much, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, James McClay, let him know.
Hi, so my name is Patty Mills. I am not the basketball player from Texas or the soccer player from Australia or even the fiddler from Ireland. I'm the folk singer from Rockland. I plug this in, we're good? All right. Because it popped, right? So this is a song that I'm going to play. This is a true story. This is my grandparents' story, and my grandmother grew up here in Portland. So it's all true, the whole story, except for the rhyming part. It didn't actually rhyme when it happened, which is common. Things don't usually rhyme in real time. I added that. But I'm pretty sure it did lilt, though, when it really happened. This is called, it's called Portland Girl.
December 1941, up in Maine. Aboard the USS Arkansas is how we came. 2 weeks leave in a salty town, I met a girl there so fair. Hand in hand, we walked down through Longfellow Square. Her name is Flossie Flaherty, she's the prettiest thing in the world. And I'm gonna make a home right here, 'cause I'm in love with a Portland girl. We were at the movie house when we heard somebody shout, "All hands back to the ship, boys, all hell has broken out." We said goodbye and I sailed away full of love and hope and fear. And through the fog on Casco Bay, only one thing was clear. Her name is Flossie Flaherty, she's the prettiest thing in the world. And I'm gonna make it home right here, 'cause I'm in love with a Portland girl. I was at Guadalcanal when things were looking bad, and I was out on Ewo and our boys raised up the flag. I made it to Okinawa where the mortars fell like rain, and I prayed to God with all my might to see my Portland girl again. Her name is Flossie Flaherty, she's the prettiest thing in the world. And I'm gonna make it back someday, 'cause I'm in love with a Portland girl. When I got home to Cleveland from halfway around the world, Standing on my mama's porch was that pretty Portland girl. Her name is Flossie Flaherty, she's the prettiest thing in the world. And I'm gonna make it home right here, 'cause I'm in love with a Portland girl. And I'm gonna make a home right here, 'cause I'm in love with a Portland girl.
Look, folks, it's not just a tagline. The Maine Irish Heritage Centre is the hub of all things Irish in Maine. We are the home of the Irish American Club of Maine. We're obviously the home of the Maine Irish Heritage Centre, with the home of the Clattermore Pipe Band. We're trying to become the home of the Portland Gaelic Athletic Association. I'll keep giving them plugs until they decide to base themselves here more often. But if it's Irish and it's happening in Maine, we're plugged into it. We're promoting it, we're encouraging it, we're trying to take it to the next level.
Telling you no lie, I work and breathe among the fumes that tread across the sky. There's thunder all around me and there's poison in the air. There's a lousy smell that smacks of hell and dust all in me hair. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath, and every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death, but you go. I've worked among the spitters and I've breathed the oily smoke. I've shoveled up the gypsum man and iron makes you choke. I've stood knee deep in cyanide, got sick with the caustic burn. Been working rough, I've seen enough to make your stomach turn. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath, and every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death, but you go. Well, there's overtime and bonus opportunities galore. The young men like their money and they all come back for more. But soon you're knocking on and you look older than you should. For every bob made on the job you pay with flesh and blood. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath, and every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death, but you go. Oh, process man am I, and I'm telling you no lie. I work and breathe among the fumes that tread across the sky. There's thunder all around me, and there's poison in the air. There's a lousy smell that smacks of hell and dust all in me hair. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath, and every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath, and every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death, but you go.
Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Rebecca. I am originally from the mountains of Nevada. I grew up playing and singing with my mom's Irish band. So it's really fun to be able to bring some of these pieces to you guys tonight.
This is a song from a recent Finbar Fury album. It's called We Built a Home. And it's about the famine. And I guess a bit of immigration as well. So I hope you like it. Unfammoned highway beneath the hill, where my love sleeps there still. Her restless shadow wanders the night, where the banshee cries her fill. We built a home of clay and stone on a patch of ground the landlord owned, near Oran Moor, where I was born. I lay my head with my Irish girl, and the pale moon, he rose on high to feed the darkened sky, to bear witness to heaven's eyes. Cold, cold genocide. How little we had, so much to lose, no time for prayer or what we choose. The blight had taken many lives, it would kill us all, man, woman and child. And the pale moon, it rose on high to feed the darkened sky, to bear witness to heaven's eyes. Cold, cold genocide. Millions died, thousands fled. On famine ships we cried farewell to Erin, we'd see no more, as her flesh fell from her bones. And the pale moon, it grows on high to feed the darkened sky, to bear witness to heaven's eyes. Cold, cold genocide, where the pale moon, it rose on high to feed the darkened skies, to bear witness to heaven's eyes. Cold, cold genocide. Cold, cold genocide. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Madeline. I'm from Sanford area, Maine. I'm going to start off with a few reels for you. The first is the Heights of Wingvacha, which means like a swampy marshland area. So here we go. right, next I'm going to play an air called Lament for Hugh O'Donnell, and I'm going to follow that up with a jig, so hope you guys enjoy.
Lessons learned as a child are strong and keep us tight and exemplify the life in our old village. When we worked in primrose fields, Dad would say, "Girls, I memory that lights the way. When the darkness holds sway, don't forget from where you came, our old village. When we crossed the Irish Sea, my sister and me brought a piece of Parkhill to London City. We met girls from Clonfad, lads from Moyne and Rathra, and their jokes made us laugh in London City. They were rainbows in the sky, they were welcoming and kind as the sun shower in July crossing over. And we helped each other out when life kicked us about and left us full of doubt in London City. My sister since has passed, but her love forever lasts in the heart and the soul of our old village. When I'm sad and have to cry, I think of her close by as she comes to dry my eyes from our old village. She's a rainbow in the sky, or she's welcoming and kind as a sun shower in July crossing over. I'll book a seat one day on a westbound aeroplane and catch a bus that leads to my old village. And I'll go once more to see the primrose-covered fields that inspired many dreams in my old village. There's a rainbow in the sky, oh, it's welcoming and kind. I can see it from the bus that brings me homeward. As we leave the motorway and get closer to the square, my mind goes back in time when we were children. Mike Mulrennan and his wife Anne, Dan O'Hara, thank you ma'am, transport boxes, bread and jam and bird's custard. Christmas Eve and fairy lights, midnight mass and silent night, snow falling feather light on our old village. Thanks very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Well, stick around the same area. This is a song about my hometown and the area around it of Balladreen in County Roscommon. Although Balladreen used to be in Mayo, but then they changed it. This is a song called My Home in Roscommon. Started in the morning and the air was crisp and clean on the top of Bacca Hill overlooking Balladreen. I walked amongst the heather and thought of younger days, the fairs on Market Street and the football games we played. Oh, the hay is baled and the turf is home. I'm taking a few days to myself to get to know my home in Roscommon, where the Beaker folk of old, they settled in a Horton 4,000 years ago. to Ahalisha with my bamboo fishing rod. I cast my line and cork float, there was people on the bog. They were footing turf and clamping and blowing in the breeze. They straightened up to look around and bent their backs with ease. Oh, the hay is baled and the turf is home. I'm taking a few days to myself to get to know my home in Roscommon, where the Beaker folk of old. They settled in a Horn 4,000 years ago. Two big perch I landed, but I put them back again. And a woman in Edmondstown said she would have eaten them. She took me to the four altars and told me long ago how the people walked on plank roads to get where they were going. Oh, the hay is baled and the turf is home. I'm taking a few days to myself to get to know my home in Roscommon, where the Beaker folk of old. They settled in a Horton 4,000 years ago. And up on Fairy Mount, all around an Irish fort, I fell asleep upon a ditch and I dreamed that I was sort of a chieftain in charge of a half a dozen men. We raided every fairy fort from Buckhill to Elphin. Oh, the hay is baled and the turf is home. I'm taking a few days to myself to get to know my home in Roscommon, where the Beaker folk of old. They settled in a Horton 4,000 years ago. And now the sun is setting on the long ago domains. I'll stop a while in spells, the session is underway. Neil is pulling pints of beer and stout behind the bar. Joe is on the fiddle and Phil is on guitar. Oh, the hay is baled and the turf is home. I'm taking a few days to myself to get to know my home in Roscommon, where the Beaker folk of old. They settled in a Horton 4,000 years ago. Thanks very much, everyone. Have a good one. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Accorda friends, I'm absolutely delighted that the Best of All Things Irish in Maine is back for a third year. How special that you are able to enjoy the performances for the first time in person too. This programme brings together incredible talents. I've so enjoyed the first 2 years and I look forward to many more in the future. With the inaugural show beginning the first year of the pandemic, Best of All Things Irish brought the community together by putting song, dance, craft and storytelling at centre stage. It's such a special example of how, when we can't be together in person, our shared culture can connect us. A culture that is particularly rich across the great state of Maine. The Consulate General of Ireland in Boston holds near and dear its partnership and friendship with the Maine Irish Heritage Centre. In addition to its great programming, the Centre enriches Irish America with art exhibitions, virtual and in person, film connections, its library, its genealogy service, its cultural programming, and much, much more. It was a pleasure to work with the Maine Irish Heritage Centre this past September when the Irish Naval Service visited Portland for a terrific conclusion to the visit of the L.E. James Joyce to the United States. The visit from the ship provided a space to highlight the historic and deep links between Maine and Ireland and to celebrate our shared interests in both places. I know that many of you watching now were part of the kind and eager group that welcomed myself, my colleagues at the consulate and the crew on board the L.E. James Joyce to Maine. Gurv Mila Mahagwiv for the warm reception, and thank you all once again for inviting me to be part of the best of all things Irish in Maine.
I may feel like an Irish Lazarus rising from last night's festivities, but I am honored to assist in presenting this program for your enjoyment here today. So for those of you who have not yet given, we appreciate any financial assistance you can offer to us to help us keep doing what we do.
All right, you can sing along with this one. It goes, Heidi diddly ida dum, Heidi diddly ida dum, Heidi diddly ida diddly ida day. Got that?
Totally easy.
Hide a diddly ida dum, hide a diddly ida dum, hide a diddly ida day. Hide a diddly ida dum, hide a diddly ida dum, hide a diddly ida day. Let the grasses grow and the waters flow in a free and easy way. But give me enough of the rare old stuff that's made near Galway Bay. The policemen all from Donegal, Sligo and Leitrim too. We'll give them the slip and we'll take a sip of some real old Mountain Dew. Hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-day. Hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-day. At the foot of the hill there's a neat little still where the smoke curls up to the sky. By the whiff and the smell you can plainly tell there's poteen brewing nearby. For it fills the air with an odor rare betwixt both me and you. As home we roll with a bucket or a bowl of some real old Mountain Dew. Hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-day. Hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-day. Now learned men who use a pen have wrote its praises high of the sweet poteen from Ireland's green that's made from wheat and rye. Throw away your pills, it'll cure all ills, be a pagan or Christian or Jew. So take off your coat and grease your throat with some real old Mountain Dew. Hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-dum, hide-a-diddly-ida-day. 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 Ho! Fall apart near the end. All right, we're going to leave you with this one. We want everybody to sing along. You may not know the verse, but you know the chorus. It's a long way to Tipperary.
Up to mighty London came an Irishman one day. As the streets were paved in told sure everyone was gay, singing songs of Piccadilly, Strand and Leicester Square. So Paddy got excited and he shouted to them there, it's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go.
Let's hear it now.
It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's already there. Paddy wrote a letter to his Irish radio, saying, should you not receive it, write and let me know. If I make mistakes in spelling, Molly dear, says he, remember it's the pen that's bad, don't lay the blame on me. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's already there. Molly wrote a neat reply to Irish Patio, saying Mike Mahoney wants to marry me, and so leave the Strand in Piccadilly or you'll be too late. For love has fairly drove me silly, hoping you're the same. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's already there. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. While you've a loser for to light your flag, smile, boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. All right, here we go. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's already
We are Bitterroot. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having us.
Of course.
And down the glen, down the Galpines came, with their shovels slung behind. Was in the bog, they drank the sop, and up in the spike you'll find them. They sweated blood, and they washed down mud, with pies and quarts of beer. And now we're on our road again, with the Alpine. I stripped to the skin now in the dark evening, right down the gong, the Isle of Rain. With an horse face told, singing in the road, no money if you stop for rain. Ah, but Alpine's gone, with the well-filled pot, with hills and seas, and woe to see it makes you look for the sea with the Alpines I remember the jade and the barrel shade fell into the concrete den, and Horseface said when he saw him dead, it wasn't what the rich call proud. I'm nappy short was the one retort that reached unto my ears. Oh, going gets a rougher, sing us sweet about it, cowboy. Has had a battle with the Russian jets and home. On shuttering jams upon the hydro dams and underneath the tanks in a hole. I crafted hard and I got me cards and many a girl's first across the years. Oh, if you praise your life to enjoy it like the best thing I'll find. Oh, if you praise your life down the shore like the Alpines. Another time.